What if you woke up every morning with no electricity to light your home, no clean water to drink, and no roof to protect you from the elements? Imagine struggling every day just to survive, walking miles for water, hoping your children can get an education, and praying that you'll have enough food to make it through the day. Welcome to Burundi, one of the most impoverished countries in the world, where survival isn't a guarantee but a fight. In this video, we're about to take you behind the scenes of a life so harsh, so unimaginable, that it will leave you in disbelief. Stay with us, because what you're about to witness will not only shock you, it will change the way you see the world. Burundi, a small, landlocked country nestled in the heart of East Africa, is often overlooked on the world map, but behind its quiet exterior lies a staggering reality. It is one of the poorest countries on earth, with a population of over 24 million people. Burundi faces extreme poverty, where even the most basic needs, food, clean water, and shelter, are out of reach for many. Despite its beauty, Burundi struggles with a history of political instability, a lack of natural resources, and a constant battle against famine and disease. Let's take a closer look at this country, where every day is a fight for survival. In this video, we won't just talk about statistics or news headlines. We're going to dive deep into the daily reality of life in Burundi, where survival isn't a given, but a relentless challenge. From the moment the sun rises, people here are fighting against the odds, walking miles for water, struggling to find enough food to feed their families, and living without basic amenities that many of us take for granted. But amidst these struggles, there is an incredible spirit of resilience. The people of Burundi are not just surviving, they're fighting to build a better future, showing strength and hope that is nothing short of inspiring. Today, we'll uncover their stories, their battles, and the remarkable courage they display every single day when it comes to the economy. Burundi faces overwhelming challenges, with a gross domestic product per capita of just around $324.90. It is one of the lowest in the world. This places Burundi at the bottom of the global economic ladder, with most of its population living on less than 2% a day. The country's economy is heavily reliant on agriculture, but even this vital sector struggles. Natural disasters, political instability, and the absence of industrial development have left Burundi in a constant state of economic hardship. While many countries enjoy economic growth and progress, Burundi's economy barely moves forward, leaving millions in a cycle of poverty with little hope for change. Statistics surrounding poverty in Burundi are staggering. Around 70% of the population lives below the poverty line, struggling to make ends meet with limited resources. Unemployment is another major issue, with more than 80% of the population relying on subsistence farming for survival. This means that the majority of people grow their own food just to feed themselves, with little to sell or invest in other opportunities. Even when crops are harvested, the income is barely enough to cover basic needs. The lack of job opportunities and the constant fight to grow enough food just to survive leaves most people trapped in a never-ending cycle of poverty. In Burundi, living without a steady income or reliable employment is the reality for most, further deepening the struggle for those who already have so little. Burundi's economic instability is caused by a mix of factors. Decades of political unrest, including civil war and ethnic conflict, have crippled progress and displaced millions. The country has few natural resources to rely on, leaving it unable to generate significant wealth. Being landlocked and with poor infrastructure, Burundi struggles to access global markets. Additionally, it is highly vulnerable to climate change, with frequent droughts and floods destroying crops, further impacting its primarily farming-based economy. These challenges create a cycle of poverty that is hard to break. Burundi's struggles can also be traced back to its colonial past. Under German and Belgian rule, the country's resources were exploited, and little was invested in its infrastructure or people. Colonial powers focused on extraction, leaving Burundi with weak institutions and a divided society. These historical wounds have contributed to the country's ongoing economic and political instability. Political corruption and instability have been major barriers to Burundi's development. Since gaining independence, the country has experienced frequent changes in leadership, often through violent means. Corruption at all levels of government has drained resources, leaving little for vital services like education, healthcare, and infrastructure. This political chaos has not only undermined economic growth, but has also left the people of Burundi with little trust in their leaders, further deepening the nation's struggles. Living conditions in Burundi are incredibly tough. Most people live in mud huts without electricity or clean water, and families often sleep on the floor with minimal shelter from the elements. Access to healthcare is limited, and roads are in poor condition, making it difficult to reach basic services. Despite these hardships, the people of Burundi continue to show incredible resilience. In Burundi, the majority of people call mud huts homes, small, fragile structures built from clay and thatch, offering little protection from the extreme weather. With no electricity or running water, families rely on nearby rivers or wells for their daily water supply, often walking miles to fetch it. The roads are barely passable, especially during the rainy season, making even simple tasks like getting food or medical care a constant struggle. In a place where basic infrastructure is a luxury few can afford, survival itself becomes a daily challenge. Electricity in Burundi is a rare luxury. Less than 11% of the population has access to reliable power, leaving the vast majority to live in complete darkness after the sun sets. People rely on kerosene lamps or candles, which are expensive and dangerous. In rural areas, where most of the population lives, the absence of electricity means that families are cut off from the modern world, unable to use basic appliances, access information, or even keep food fresh. For many, the concept of electricity is simply out of reach, making everyday tasks far more challenging. In Burundi, access to clean water and sanitation is a daily struggle. Many people walk miles to fetch water from unsafe sources, risking disease. Without proper sanitation facilities, families are forced to rely on open fields, making them vulnerable to waterborne illnesses. Basic hygiene remains a constant challenge. In Burundi, finding enough food to eat is a constant struggle, with most people relying on subsistence farming. The crops they grow are often just enough to feed their families, leaving little to sell or save. Poor soil quality, frequent droughts, and flooding make it hard to grow enough food, and the rising cost of basic staples means even a simple meal can be out of reach. For many families, hunger is a daily reality, and surviving each season is a constant fight. In Burundi, the diet mainly consists of cassava, beans, and maize staples that provide basic calories but lack essential nutrients. With limited access to a variety of foods, many people suffer from malnutrition, especially children. High rates of stunted growth and vitamin deficiencies are common, as families struggle to afford or grow more diverse and nutritious meals. Malnutrition remains one of the country's most pressing health issues, affecting the well-being of an entire generation. Education in Burundi faces major challenges. With limited resources, many schools lack basic supplies, and classrooms are overcrowded, making learning difficult. Teachers are often underpaid and overworked, leading to low morale and a lack of motivation. Many children, especially in rural areas, are unable to attend school due to poverty, as families can't afford uniforms, books, or transportation. As a result, the literacy rate remains low, and future opportunities for many young people are severely limited. In Burundi, the journey to school is a test of endurance for many children. With no buses or transport, they walk for miles through muddy paths, under the scorching sun or pouring rain, just to reach their classrooms. For some, it's a journey that can take hours. One way, this daily trek is not just about reaching school, it's a symbol of the determination and resilience of children who, despite the hardships, still cling to the hope of a better future through education. In Burundi, classrooms are packed with students, often more than 100 in a single room. With such overcrowding, it's a challenge for both teachers and students to focus or engage. The few resources available, such as worn-out textbooks, limited chalk, and broken desks, are stretched thin. In Burundi, owning a bicycle is a rare privilege. With no reliable public transport, a bicycle means access to opportunities, whether it's reaching school, work, or healthcare. It's not just transportation, it's freedom, a sign of privilege in a country where even basic necessities are hard to come by. In Burundi, a bicycle is more than just transportation. It's a lifeline. For many, it's the only way to reach distant markets, schools, or healthcare facilities. With no other reliable form of transport, a bicycle becomes essential for accessing basic services and opportunities, making it a crucial tool for survival and progress. In Burundi, the lack of public transport forces many people to walk long distances just to meet basic needs. Whether it's fetching water, going to school, or buying food, these daily treks can take hours, often through difficult terrain. For those without bicycles, walking is not just an inconvenience, it's a daily burden that affects every part of their life. Burundi's poverty stems from a history of conflict, lack of resources, and environmental challenges. Civil war and political instability damaged infrastructure, while droughts and floods devastate crops, with limited economic opportunities, and most people relying on farming. Escaping poverty remains a constant struggle. Frequent natural disasters, such as droughts and floods, devastate agriculture in Burundi. These extreme weather events destroy crops, disrupt food supplies, and leave communities struggling to survive. With the majority of people relying on farming, these disasters compound the challenges of poverty, making it even harder to escape the cycle of hunger and hardship. While Burundi receives some international aid, it's often insufficient to address the scale of the country's needs. What little aid is provided is sometimes mismanaged or diverted, leaving communities without the resources they desperately need. This lack of effective support hinders progress and prolongs the suffering of those who rely on outside help for survival. Despite overwhelming challenges, the people of Burundi display remarkable resilience. They endure harsh conditions, rebuild after disasters, and continue to push forward, showing an unwavering determination to survive and provide for their families. Their strength is a testament to the power of hope and perseverance. In Burundi, women bear the burden of walking miles to fetch firewood and water. These long journeys, often done daily, take up valuable time and energy, leaving little room for other responsibilities. For many women, this struggle is a constant reminder of their strength and the sacrifices they make for their families. In Burundi, farmers face extreme conditions as they battle droughts, floods, and poor soil to grow their crops. With limited resources, they work tirelessly, often risking their health and livelihoods to cultivate food. Despite the hardships, their determination to feed their families and their communities remains unwavering. Burundi is a country plagued by poverty, political instability, and environmental challenges. The people face daily struggles walking miles for water, battling harsh weather to grow crops, and enduring overcrowded classrooms. Yet, in the face of these hardships, the resilience of the Burundian people shines through. Their determination, hope, and unwavering spirit in the fight for survival are a testament to the strength of the human will. The people of Burundi are facing unimaginable challenges, but they aren't alone. We have the power to raise awareness, to help amplify their voices, and to make a difference. By sharing this video and spreading the word, we can help bring attention to the struggles they face and the resilience they show every day. Let's stand together and ensure that their story is heard. Together, we can be part of the change. Sharing this video helps spread awareness and spark change. The more people who learn about Burundi's struggles, the greater the chance of bringing support and attention to those in need. Your share can make a real difference in amplifying their voices and creating hope for a better future. Global support is vital for countries like Burundi, where resources are scarce and survival is a daily challenge. International aid and partnerships can provide essential resources and help drive long-term development, offering hope for a better future. Every view, like, subscribe Globe Path and share brings us one step closer to understanding the struggles of Burundi and creating meaningful change. Together, we can make a difference, one action at a time.